Good morning, everybody. Hello, hi Carmine. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. For those of you who are with me here for the first time, my name is Trisha. Welcome to my home and thank you so much for welcoming me into yours. I love seeing everybody arriving from as far as Mexico. Hola. All right, my friends, we're gonna get started today. I just wanted to mention if anybody has any sort of sensitivity with their knees, this is going to be a really great class to make sure that you guys have something to pad underneath, either even just by considering folding your mat, or you can also run and go get a blanket right now, yeah? We're going to get started on our backs. So whenever you're ready, I'll ask you guys to join me laying down on your mats. It can be any real comfortable position. So if you want to have a Shavasana with your legs all the way out, you can. If you'd like to have your knees bent and lean them together, you can as well. Good morning for my friends who just joined. Let's get started. So you might take a moment here to hug the knees in towards your chest and just rock from side to side. I always like to use a bit of movement here to check in with how I'm feeling. And then eventually we'll just start to get settled. So again, your starting position is your choice. And we might invite now the hands to rest onto the belly button. You can try spreading your shoulder blades a little bit wider underneath you. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit so the back of your neck is long, and then eventually start to make your way down into a place where you feel really relaxed and really soft and kind of easy. So to perhaps help the body find a little bit more of that softness, let's take a few big exhales together. So I'll invite you to breathe in slowly through the nose and then exhale out completely through the mouth. And we'll try that 2 more times as we settle in here. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. And 1 more time, deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Allow your body to get accustomed to the stillness this morning. And just give yourself this time to notice any feedback you're getting from your flesh. Start to imagine like you're trying to amplify all of the physical sensations. Noticing how your legs feel, how your hips feel, how your back feels. Bringing some attention into your shoulders, your arms, your neck. Taking a moment to soften the muscles of the face, to soften the jaw. And then start to see if, as you're breathing, you can get a little bit more feedback of the breath moving into the back of the body. So noticing the pressure from your mat and how it changes as you inhale and exhale. And we'll start by taking a few breaths again together, following my count. Inhaling for a count of 6 and exhaling for a count of 6. So for all of us to meet up in our respective homes, let's take 1 big inhale through the nose. Again, an exhale out of the mouth. And then we'll inhale here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 more, inhale, and exhale. Next breath in is full, and we can breathe out the mouth 1 more time. I invite you to slowly start to bring some movement into the muscles of your face. Start to wiggle the toes and the fingertips. Start to circle the ankles and the wrists. And then slowly, slowly start to bend your knees so that both of your thighs are hugging in towards your belly. Take a moment here to place your hands on your shins and just rock a little bit from side to side. Then let's transfer both of our hands onto only the right shin, and we'll let the left leg go straight down onto the mat. Put some pressure into the thigh, into the belly. And then start to use your left hand to draw that right knee across for our first nice and easy twist. The right hand can extend out to shoulder height. You can look towards your right hand, and we'll stay there just for 2 breaths. Then we'll slowly come back in towards the center. We're bringing the left knee in towards the belly, moving the hands to the left shin and letting the right leg go down onto the floor. A squeeze of the thigh down and towards the belly, and then the right hand can draw that knee across. The left arm can sweep out to about shoulder height. We can turn our chin towards the left and enjoy 2 deep breaths there. Roll back and towards the middle, bringing the right knee up beside the left, rock a little bit from side to side, and then keep your knees bent as you land your feet back down onto the floor. We'll have our feet about hip width apart, fairly close to our bums, and our palms are going to go down by our feet. So before we move up and down through bridge a few times, be sure here that you're pressing both your feet and your hands in towards the floor. Let's wait for an inhale to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And then with your exhale, you're going to lower your hips just part of the way down. We'll do 2 more like that, using the breath in to push the hips up, pressing through the hands and the feet. And we'll exhale to come part of the way down. And with this inhale, as we lift up through the hips into the bridge pose, we're going to hold it there. So try keeping your arms where they are instead of interlacing the fingers underneath. So press your palms down, press your feet down, press even your elbows and your triceps down towards the floor to get a little bit more lift through the chest and the hips. We'll take 1 more breath in and out. And then slowly, maybe 1 vertebra at a time, you're going to roll your spine all the way back down into the floor, letting the hips land and just keeping the body still there for a second to look for any feedback that you might be getting from your tissues. Okay. When you're ready, you're going to slowly wiggle your feet a little bit wider, maybe putting them to the edges of your mat or maybe even further out. You can have your toes point out towards the side a little bit, and we're just going to see what changes when we lift our hips with our legs and feet in this position. So being gentle with your bodies is a way to just explore in a curious manner. You're going to press through the hands and through the feet once again to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Might not go as high as before, and then as you exhale, you'll come just part of the way down again. Okay, 2 more times like that. Inhaling to push the hips up. Exhaling to come part way down, and then just like the last time, when we bring our hips up here, we're going to hold. So you're pressing into the arms, you're pressing in towards the feet, you're really squeezing the glutes on to help activate in this pose. Take 1 more deep breath in, and then with the exhale, slowly roll the spine all the way back down towards the floor. Take a moment in stillness when you land, just to gather any feedback. And then gently start to bring your thighs back in towards your chest. You can place your hands onto your shins once more and give yourself a rock from side to side to massage the back. And after activating the back of the body there, we're going to activate a little bit of the front with some core work. So you can keep your knees in towards the belly and just start to move your hands towards the back of your head. Okay, you're going to start to hover your head off the floor, right off of the mat. Elbows are going to stay nice and wide, and the chin is going to stay far from the chest. Let's point through the toes here so we have some attention in how we move our legs. You're going to start to stack your knees on top of your hips, and the shins are parallel to the floor. Okay? When you're ready, you're going to lift your head up and bring the right knee in towards your forehead as the left leg goes out as low as you would like to go, depending on how much work you want to do. And then when you're ready, you're pushing your knees back to the original starting position and your head lowers. Let's do 3 more like that. Exhaling, just the right knee comes in, left leg extends out, forehead goes towards that knee. Okay, inhale to return to starting. 2 more times, exhaling, right knee in. Inhaling back to the starting position. And last one, right knee comes in, head is up, and then come back to the start. Let's switch the legs this time. So as your head comes up, your left knee comes in and the right leg goes out towards straight. You bring yourself back to that same starting position. 3 more with the breath. Exhaling to crunch it in. Inhaling to return the knees on top of the hips. 2 more times. Exhaling. Inhaling back to start. Last one on that side. Exhale. And inhale back to start. Let your head rest all the way down. Hug the knees in towards the chest one more time, giving yourself a real quick rock from side to side. And then we'll just finish off with one last little bit of core work here, letting the hands, palms down, land underneath the hips to create a little bit of a ledge for yourself. The feet are gonna point up towards the ceiling nice and straight if you can. You're gonna take a deep breath in. Head can be up or head can be down. We're gonna very slowly lower the legs down towards the floor. They don't really have to go that low, so you can stop as soon as you feel like you would lose control and your lower back would arch a lot. And then when you're ready, you're gonna lift the feet back up towards the ceiling. Okay, let's just do another 3 of those. So you're gonna lower the legs down. We can use our inhales to bring the legs back up. Okay, last 2. Exhale, lower legs down. Inhale, bring the legs up. Okay, with this last exhale, lower the legs down. And then let's try stopping about halfway up at a 45-degree angle. And we're gonna hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on the 1, bring the legs all the way back up to the ceiling. Bend the knees, hug them in towards your chest, and rock from side to side. Okay. Start to move your hands to the back of your thighs. Tuck your chin in so your forehead moves towards your shin, and you can rock all the way up and down the spine here for a nice massage. Okay, when you're ready, you'll build up that momentum so that you can come all the way up in towards a seat, and then we're actually just going to go straight into our hands and our knees. So finding yourself in a nice, simple tabletop position. Checking in, using this whole class really as a moment to check in with your body. Your wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders, your knees are stacked underneath your hips. Let's start with a little bit of cat-cow here together. So with your next inhale, just drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, lift your chin and your tailbone. And with an exhale, you're gonna push into the floor, round the back, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Let's do that twice more together. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more time, inhaling into your cow. And exhaling into your cat. Start to find yourself in a neutral position through the spine. And really start to ground down through your left hand. You're gonna let your right hand reach forward. The palm can face in towards the midline. And then with a really stable core, you're gonna start to extend your left leg back. So it's right arm, left leg. The body is staying super, super still here. The arm and the foot are reaching in opposite directions. Left hand stays grounded in towards the floor, especially through the knuckles. Take one deep breath in. And with your exhale, just start to connect your elbow and your knee together underneath. Okay, 2 more times, inhaling to extend out. Exhaling to connect under. Last one, inhale to extend out. Exhale to connect under. Let's extend the limbs out one last time, and we're gonna hold it there for 3, 2, and on the 1, you can gently land the hand down, you can land the knee down, and you can let your body react however it needs to release any sensations that still might be lingering from that first little bit of work. Okay? So as you start to set up again for the second side, you're going to make sure that your right hand is really grounded in towards your mat, your belly is in towards your spine. Your left hand is going to extend out towards the front with the palm facing the midline, and then when you're ready, start to extend the right leg out towards the back. Try to keep your belly from really dropping down, almost like a cow pose. So suck it in, find some stability there. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, you're gonna take elbow towards knee. 2 more times, inhaling to extend it out. Nice, slow, and controlled. Exhale to bring it under. Last one, we're extending out. We're exhaling under. And then as you extend out, this time we're gonna hold. So you're reaching in opposite directions. You're gonna reach for 3, 2, and 1. Start to land the hand, start to land the knee. Release the sensations, maybe flicking out the wrists a couple times, and then eventually start to widen the knees here. The big toes are gonna come together. The hips are gonna sink down towards the heels, and you can let the hands slide out a little bit further. If needed, you can always give your wrist a little bit of massage, maybe wiggle out the fingers a couple times. And let's stay for 1 more deep breath in and out. And start to find ourselves right back into a tabletop position. So let's take a moment to find that same stacking. The shoulders are on top of the wrists, the hips are on top of the knees. Tuck your toes if they're not tucked already. Okay, and then without changing too much in this position, you're just gonna start to hover your knees off of the floor. So my knees are maybe like 2 or 3 inches off the mat. Sometimes when we first start this hold, it might not feel like a lot, but we'll stay here so that we do feel something. So take a few more breaths here. And just notice where you find the work creeps into your body first. Is it the arms? Is it the shoulders? Is it your wrists? Is it your thighs maybe? We're gonna take 2 more deep breaths in and out. 1 more breath in and out. And then gently lift the hips, straighten out the legs. Let's stay in a downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of the class. Take a moment here to pedal out the knees, to drop one heel at a time, to shake the head yes and no, to just check in with what the body is experiencing in this particular moment. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Then slowly beginning to move together once more. Let's look towards our hands as we lift the heels and bend the knees. And then an easy step forward to the fronts of our mats. Take a moment here to soften the legs even more so that you feel your belly connected to your thighs, and then grab opposite elbows, let the head hang nice and heavy. I often need to find a little bit of movement here through the upper body to make sure that my muscles are actually letting go. So you might try to shake yes or no with the head, with the shoulders, maybe the whole torso kind of wags around for a few breaths. Enjoying that feeling of being upside down. And then slowly starting to let the hands move away from the elbows. You can take them to the floor, to the shins, or to the knees as we inhale here for a halfway lift. The belly is in, the shoulders are back. And as you exhale, we're gonna fold right back down towards the floor. Let's use this next breath in to reach all the way up towards the ceiling, grounding down through the feet, looking up towards the thumbs. And then as you exhale, gently bring your hands down in front of your heart, and let's try stacking the palms over the heart. Just stand there for a moment with the eyes closed. Find the sensations coming in through the feet, coming in through the hands, maybe looking for the feeling of your heart beating underneath your hands. Soften the muscles in your face and focus on your breath. Let's take one big inhale through the nose here together. Maybe a sigh out of the mouth. Start to slowly flutter your eyes back open, and you can release your hands down by your side. Take a moment to roll out the shoulders a couple times here, and then when you're ready, we're gonna use our next inhale to start our first vinyasa, reaching up as we breathe in, and exhaling to hinge through the hips as we breathe out. Use your next inhale for that same halfway lift. Hands can go to shins, knees, or stay on the floor. And as you exhale, you're gonna hinge, planting the hands down onto the floor and stepping the feet back into a plank pose. Hold that plank pose for a moment with the nice strong belly, strong legs, strong glutes. You can even try imagining you're trying to drag your hands towards your feet here for a little bit more activation. And then we'll take our knees down for a modified vinyasa for this first round. So without changing much else, the knees lower down towards the floor. The shoulders are still stacked on top of the wrists. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, you're bending your elbows in towards your ribs to lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Your chest and your belly land at the same time. Untuck your toes. Keep your hands where they are. Just roll your shoulders away from the ear. And with your next inhale, you're lifting up into a little baby cobra. So it's not super high. The chin stays tucked in so the neck is nice and long, and as you exhale, we're gonna just roll it back down. Okay, you're gonna inhale again to roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up. And as you exhale, come back down. Inhale, last one, lift the chest up, keep the chin tucked in, and exhale to come all the way back down. Take one moment here to soften through the body, and then start to shift your hips up and back towards a child's pose. Tucking the chin in, bringing the forehead towards the knees, and then when you're ready, we'll go back in towards our downward facing dog. You might want to pedal out the feet real quick, maybe shake the head out. And then we're bringing the feet a little bit closer together at the back of the mat, keeping your knuckles and your fingertips grounded down and towards the floor. You're going to inhale to lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. With your next exhale, let's shift our shoulders on top of our wrists as you bring the knee in towards the nose. And we'll lift up again with the next inhale. And with this exhale, we're going to step all the way through. So land your foot underneath your knee when you're ready. Finding your balance, you're going to slowly start to lift yourself up towards the ceiling. First lunge of the class, so get comfortable. I always make sure that my feet are about hip width apart, so I'm not trying to do this on a balancing beam. You can relax the shoulders a little bit here, relax the jaw. And then let's find some movement to warm up. Okay, we're gonna inhale with the arms up. And as you exhale, you're gonna drop your hips a little bit lower as you take your fists in towards your hips. Okay, 2 more times like that. We're gonna inhale to go up. And exhale to crunch it down. And with the next inhale, we're gonna go up. And with this exhale, take your back knee low towards the floor, but this time straighten your fingertips towards the floor as well. And then start to reach back behind you, almost trying to get the hands to touch behind you if you can. We're gonna stay down there nice and low for 3, 2, and on the 1, you can straighten out both legs, reach your arms towards the ceiling, and with your exhale, float your hands down towards the floor. Right foot is going to step back into the plank pose, and from here on out, the choice is yours to do the vinyasas with your knees down, toes down, or maybe you skip. We're going to take one deep breath in here in the plank, and then landing all the way down onto our bellies with control. Exhale to bend the elbows. Untuck the toes once you're down on your mat. Let's take the hands a little bit wider. They're still at the same line as your shoulders, but they're off of the mat and just our fingertips are on the floor. Elbows are all still pointed up towards the ceiling. Roll your shoulders away from your ears and use your next inhale here to lift through the chest. And your exhale to roll your spine back down. Keeping the head heavy as you lift, roll the spine up. Exhale, roll the spine down. 2 more times. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Shake out the fingers Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. And when you're ready, you can pass through a child's pose if you'd like, or you can go straight up and back to downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths before we move to the second side. Bringing the feet together at the back of the mat once more. We're going to inhale to reach the left leg up towards the ceiling this time. And with your exhale, your shoulders move on top of your wrists and your knee and your forehead. Try to connect. Inhale, reach the leg back up. And as you exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Ankle underneath the knees. Find your balance. And then find your lunge. Relax the shoulders. Relax the jaw. Take a deep breath here to reach the arms up. And the breath out to drop the hips down as you bring your fists beside your hips. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling to pull it down. One more time. Inhaling to go up. Exhaling to go down, but this time we stay down there. Back knee is nice and low, my friends. Fingertips are going to start to reach towards the floor. Arms are going to start to reach back as if you're trying to connect your palms behind you. Stay there for 3, 2, and on the 1, release, reaching up. And then floating the hands down towards the floor. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. Take a moment in your plank to decide how you would like to lower yourself down towards the floor, knees or toes. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. Landing, we're going to untuck the toes once again. We'll leave our hands underneath our shoulders this time. Roll your shoulders away from the ears. Use your next inhale to lift your chest, lift your head, and lift your feet as well this time. As you exhale, we can float things all the way back down. Twice more, inhaling, rolling shoulders back, lifting chest, lifting head, lifting feet. Exhale to come back down. Last one, inhaling, lifting chest, head, feet, maybe even hands this time. Stay for 3. Breathing deeply for 2. Thinking about a long spine for 1. And then gently letting yourself come all the way down. Take a moment to push into your hands so your hips can go up and back towards your heels, child's pose. You might even want to try making this a little bit more about the low back by walking your hands backwards a bit and pushing the hips down towards the heels. Tucking the tailbone under. Taking one more deep breath there. And then slowly sitting up onto your legs. Okay. You're going to slide your fingertips a little bit further back, maybe to the sides of your feet or even further. And we'll practice a little bit of a baby camel pose, as I heard it called before. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you, and with your inhale, you're lifting your chest up, hips are staying down, chin can lift as well. And as you exhale, you're going to relax your back. As you inhale, you're going to engage into that stretch again. It's a big lift through the chest and the chin. And as you exhale, relax the spine. One more time, inhale, open up your heart. Let's stay there, maybe with the eyes closed for a moment. And then you can gently start to soften your back. Maybe roll out the shoulders, maybe wiggle out the spine a couple times. Let's try standing up on your knees. So this is the part where if you did bring a blanket, you're going to want to use it. If you didn't and your knees do feel sensitive when you stand up on them, you can always fold your mat in and have an extra couple layers there. Okay, so we're going to start to find a little bit of work here through the quads as we prepare to move ourselves towards camel pose at the end of the class. So I'd like to have my toes tucked here. And we're going to pretend we basically have no hips. So there should be no movement of the hips pushing forward, and there should be no movement of the hips hinging back. It's going to maintain one straight, strong line from the shoulders all the way to the knees. Your hands are going to come forward here in front of your shoulders for a little bit of counterbalance. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, you're gonna lean your body back as far as you can, maintaining that nice straight line from shoulders to knees. When you're ready, you're pulling yourself to stack right back to the beginning. Let's take again another inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna lean it back. As you inhale, you're gonna come forward. Choose wisely for the next round because we're gonna hold it there. We're gonna inhale. We're gonna exhale to lean it back, and this time we're gonna stay and hold that position with a strong core for 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back up and relax your body down. Okay, fix your mat if you need to. Take a moment to stack shoulders on top of your wrists, then start to lift yourself up and back to downward facing dog. Shake it out, 5 deep breaths here. So you can choose to use these 5 breaths for a down dog, for maybe a full vinyasa there on your own, or maybe you're resting in child's pose. That's the beauty of this online practice. You're at home, so you have all the privacy you need to listen to your body. Let's take another inhale and exhale. And then we're slowly gonna start to lift the heels, bend the knees, look towards your hands, and with an exhale, you can step or hop your feet to the front of your mat. Breathing in here to lift your chest halfway up. There's a long spine, belly is in, hands can go to shins or knees. As you exhale, hinge back down. With your next inhale, let's reach back up towards the ceiling. And with your exhale, the hands come in front of the heart, and we can try stacking the palms once again on the chest. Soften the knees, the shoulders, and the muscles in your face. And just bring your awareness to whatever it is your body is feeling right now. Use your awareness of your physical sensations as a way to keep you here in the moment. And let's take 1 inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. You can slowly start to flutter your eyes open and let the hands drop down beside you. Okay, we're gonna set our feet up how we like it for chair pose. I like hip width apart, others like big toes together, heels slightly apart. Okay, you're gonna take a moment here to reach your fingertips down towards the floor. Okay, let's bend our knees so deep that you can maybe already even touch the floor there at the bottom. Keep your hips that low as you reach your arms back up towards the ceiling. Belly is in towards the spine. The palms are gonna flip down towards the floor. Take a breath in with your arms straight. And as you exhale, you're gonna squeeze your elbows together behind you. Okay, 2 more like that. Inhaling, arms extend. Exhaling, elbows squeeze back. Inhaling, arms extend. Exhaling, elbows squeeze back. And with this inhale, arms extend as you straighten the legs. Exhale, hinge through the hips. Lower yourself down to a forward fold. Inhaling into a halfway lift, hands on the floor, the shins or the knees, the spine is straight. As you exhale, plant the hands down onto the floor. Step or hop your feet back to a plank pose and hold that plank pose. For more activation, you can try to imagine your hands are driving back towards your feet. Let's take 1 more deep breath in and out there. And then again, knees or toes is your choice. Let's start to lower ourselves down towards the floor with an exhale. Once you land, untuck your toes. You can keep your hands underneath your shoulders for now. Press the tops of the feet in towards the floor and roll your shoulders back, using your next inhale to lift your chest and your head up. Let's keep the right hand where it is and just release your left hand off the floor. We'll move through that left hand by using our inhales to extend it forward and our exhales to squeeze the elbow back. Inhale to extend it forward. Exhale to squeeze elbow back. 1 more time, inhale, extend it forward. Exhale to squeeze the elbow back. Let's let that left hand land back down and then we'll do the right. So left hand stays grounded, Right hand is gonna hover off of the mat. We're gonna inhale to extend the arm out in front and exhale to squeeze the elbow back. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, squeeze the elbow back. And one more time, inhaling right hand forward. Exhale, elbow squeezes back. Land your right hand down onto the floor. Maybe one inhale here to press into the hands, straightening the arms for upward facing dog. And as you exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Move a little bit here before we start the next sequence. Gently start to move your feet together at the back of your mat once more. And with your next inhale, the right leg is going up towards the ceiling. With your next exhale, shoulders move forward, the knee comes in towards your nose. Inhale, kick back up. And exhale to step your foot in between your hands. Ankle is underneath the knee. The arms are slowly going to rise. We're finding ourselves in that same lunge we did for the first sequence. So take a moment. Try to be sure your feet are at least hip width apart for this one. We're going to be doing something a little bit different than that first time. So instead of bending bending and straightening through the back knee, let's do that through the front. So take a moment here to keep the back knee bent. The arms can go out in front of the shoulders just like we did when we were on our knees. And you're going to try straightening your front leg. You should feel a whole lot of load come into that back quad. Be gentle with your knees. And we'll try that 2 more times. So as you inhale, you're going to bend the front knee again. As you exhale, you're going to straighten it, keeping that back leg bent. Inhale again to bend the front knee. Exhale to straighten the front leg. Left knee is nice and bent. If you want a little more challenge, drop your hands down like you're trying to reach towards your left foot here for 3, 2, and 1. Release, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale to take your hands down towards the floor. Let's step that right foot back into that same plank pose. Taking 1 deep breath in and out. Knees or toes, you're going to lower yourself down towards your mat. Belly and chest land at the same time. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Use your next inhale to lift through the chest and the head. Lift both of your hands off the floor this time. And then start to reach your hands forward. And with your exhale, squeeze your elbows together behind you. Inhale to reach it forward. Exhale to squeeze elbows behind. And one more time. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale to squeeze elbows behind. Chest is nice and bright. Neck is nice and long. Stay for 3, 2, and on the 1, relax. Press into the hands. Lift yourself up and back towards downward facing dog. Take a little bit of movement. Maybe a couple really deep breaths in and out. Then move your feet back together behind you. Use your next inhale now for the left leg to go up. And the exhale to bring your knee towards the nose. Shoulders move on top of your wrists. Inhale to go back up. And exhale to step your foot forward in between your hands. Finding your balance before you rise up. Then taking a moment here to make sure again, feet are hip width apart. Arms are going to go in front of the shoulders for some counterbalance to start off. Okay, so you're going to keep your right knee bent. You're going to inhale here with the left knee bent too. But as you exhale, left knee is going to straighten out. You're leaning back. Okay, you're going to inhale again to come forward. Exhale to straighten that front leg. Keep your back knee bent. And one more time, come forward. Then straighten that left leg. Back knee is nice and low. For more challenge, reach down towards your right heel for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, bend the front knee, reach your arms up. And exhale, float the hands down. Step your left foot back towards the plank pose. Knees or toes is your choice. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower yourself down towards the floor. Take a moment there to relax the body, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Okay, let's inhale here to lift up through the chest and the head and the feet this time. Hands are also going to lift up off the floor, and we're going to do the same thing with the arms as last time. So inhale to reach forward. Exhale to squeeze elbows back. Inhale to reach it forward. Exhale to squeeze elbows back. Lift the chest a little bit more too. Inhale, last time. Exhale, squeeze it back. Lift the chest, lift the elbows, lift the feet for 3. Don't forget to breathe deeply for 2. Maybe 1, final lift a little higher, and float yourself down onto your mat. Take a moment to press through the hands, lift yourself up and back to a child's pose. Hips down towards the heels, and just like the first time, maybe you make this more about the low back than the shoulders. So the hands might even want to walk backwards a little bit, so you can push your hips down towards your heels and try taking your forehead in towards your knees. Take 1 big breath in through the nose. Big breath out of the mouth. Then sit up onto your heels. Okay, you can slide your hands back towards the sides of your feet, or maybe even further back. Okay, you're going to take a breath in here to lift the heart up, lift the chin up. And as you exhale, we're just relaxing. Okay, again, inhale, lift heart up, lift chin up, squeeze your shoulders back. And exhale to relax. Last time, inhaling, lifting up through the chest, holding it there, maybe closing the eyes for a moment. Take 1 breath in and out. And then gently just start to soften the body. Roll the shoulders around a couple times. Maybe give yourself a little twist from side to side, and then prepare to stand back up onto your knees. So this is where you might consider patting things up however you feel necessary for yourself. And we're going to rep the same exercise as we did before to get those quads nice and strong. So we move into that pose of camel with a very hefty amount of stability. So I'd like to have my toes tucked for this. You can reach your arms up again in front of you about shoulder height. Okay, key concept here is to make sure nothing's happening in the hip joint. You're straight from your shoulders all the way down towards your knees. So keep your belly in, keep your glutes on. Take a breath. With your exhale, lean back. Okay, with your inhale, pull forward. With your exhale, lean back. Inhale, pull forward. We're holding this next one again. Exhaling, we're leaning back, and this time we're staying there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull up, and relax. Reorganize your mat if necessary. Maybe take a little bit of cat-cow here before we move on. And then start to tuck the toes again. Lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. Let's start our next standing sequence from here. So after this next inhale and exhale, gently start to move your feet back together. Using our next inhale to lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Same as before, we're exhaling, knee towards the nose as the shoulders move on top of the wrists. Inhale, go up. And with this exhale, plant the right foot down in between your hands. And this time, plant the back heel down as well. So we're moving our legs into warrior 1 position. You're going to inhale to take your arms up towards the ceiling. Okay, take a moment to relax shoulders, relax the face. Keep your legs in this position and just drop your hands behind you. You're going to interlace your fingers there at the back and straighten out through the arms. So you should already feel your shoulder blades squeeze together and the heart reach forward. We're going to take a deep breath in. Keeping your legs in the midline, you're gonna lower your head down towards the inside of your right foot. And maybe the arms just work towards being straight, or maybe you can start to lift the hands up towards the ceiling. If you notice your hips leaning out towards the right, try to suck it back in towards the midline so the legs are exactly the way they are in Warrior One. We're gonna stay here for another breath in and breath out. Then with your next breath, you might relax the arms a little bit first, then you can reach yourself back up. Let's take a moment here to shake up and roll out the shoulders a couple times. Lift your back heel off the floor so we're back in the same lunges that we've been doing earlier. You're gonna take your hands, both of them, to the inside of your right foot. If you want to, your right foot can wiggle off towards the side of the mat a little bit more, and we can try lowering that back knee down. Untuck that back toe, and let's just be in here for this stretch, okay? So if this is already enough sensation for you, you might just stay here. If you want a little bit more sensation, you might try bringing the left elbow down towards the floor. Maybe you can even do both elbows down towards the floor. It's up to you. So we're gonna take another 2 deep breaths in and out here. And then we're gonna gently bring ourselves all the way back up and out. So the hands are now flat on the floor once again. Back toes are tucking. Back knee is lifting. Front foot is gonna step back towards that same plank pose. I'll leave the choice up to you here. So you can do a full vinyasa. You can skip it completely and go straight to downward dog. Okay? We're gonna meet up in downward facing dog. Pedal it out a little bit. Maybe notice what left side and right side are feeling differently than one another. Then we'll bring the feet back together behind you on the mat. Pressing the hands strongly in towards the floor. Inhale, left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee towards the nose, shoulders shift forward. Inhale, kick the leg back up. And exhale to step it through in between the hands. Plant the back heel down. Lift yourself up to Warrior One. We got both heels pressing through the floor. Ball joints of both big toes pressing into the floor. Legs are gonna stay nice and strong and steady there. Release your hands. When you interlace your fingers this time, try to do it in the opposite grip. Straighten the arms, feel the shoulder blades come together and the heart present itself forward. Take one inhale, and with the exhale, drop your head down towards the inside of the left foot. You can keep your arms working towards straight or maybe lift them up towards the ceiling. Keep your legs in the midline as if we were still in Warrior One. Pressing through both of the heels, take one more breath in and out. Then softening through the arms first, lifting up through the chest next. Release your arms, roll out the shoulders, pick up your back heel and land both of your hands down to the inside of the left foot. I like to wiggle my left foot out to the side a little bit. I'm dropping the back knee down, untucking the back toes. Again, if this is enough sensation for you, hang out here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can bring, trying the the outside elbow first, and then maybe also the inside elbow. Okay, take 3 deep breaths to stretch it out wherever you want. Then very slowly, if you're on your elbows, come back up onto your hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, take that left foot towards the back of your mat, holding that plank pose for a deep breath in. Exhaling to bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, straighten your arms to upward facing dog. Bring your knees down and exhale yourself into a child's pose. Rest. You can choose where you want to have your hands. You can choose how you want to have your knees. Let's take just one more inhale and exhale. And then we're going to start to sit ourselves back up onto our legs. So we're going to start to move into the full expression of camel pose, but of course if you have any reason that you don't want to do it, whether it's back, knees, or you're just not in the mood, you can always practice something else, or you can practice that little baby camel that we're going to prep with right now again. So you're going to slide your fingertips towards the back, maybe a little bit past your feet or right beside them at that. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together as you inhale to reach your heart forward. Open up through the chest, lift the chin slightly and just stay there. Maybe closing the eyes for a moment. Take one more inhale and exhale. Then softening through the upper body, maybe rolling out the shoulders a little bit, and then getting ready to stand back up onto your knees. So considering whatever padding or support you would like to have underneath your joints. Okay. We're going to be looking at that full expression of camel pose, a position where we are literally presenting all of our vital organs out and open. So there's a lot of vulnerability associated with this physical position, but hopefully moving into it with that same strength work will help us find that empowerment through allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. So take a second to make sure, again, your knees are supported. I like to have my toes tucked. We're going to do 3 reps like we have been doing, but on that last one, once you lean back, you're going to reach back towards your heels and then allow your hips to push forward into the camel that I think most of us are more familiar with. So the hands are going to start back up in front of the shoulders once again. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. Body stays nice and straight as you exhale to lean it back. Inhale to pull yourself back to the front. Exhale again, lean it back. Inhale to pull yourself back towards the front. We're going to hold first, then find our camel. So let's start to lean back to a sustainable angle. Stay for 3, 2, and 1. Start to bring one hand down to look towards your heels. You might find they're closer than you think. Both hands may be connecting to the heels. If not, they can go towards your lower back. When you're ready, start to push your hips forward, lift your heart up. Breathe there in your camel pose, keeping the belly in nice and strong. Offering your heart forward. Take another 3 deep breaths in and out. Slowly bring your attention back to the class. Let your hips sink back down to that same place we left off. Reach your hands back forward in front of your shoulders and pull up. Slowly, slowly start to let your body melt down towards your mat. You might rearrange again the padding underneath. Let your knees go nice and wide, big toes together. Slide your hips down towards your heels and let your hands slide forward for a nice and easy child's pose. Let the elbows land all the way down to the floor. Maybe even consider letting the hands go back towards the feet. Let the body absorb whatever it got out of that camel pose. And take your final 2 deep breaths there. Then let's slowly start to let ourselves come back up into a tabletop position. Shoulders on top of wrists, hips on top of knees. Take an inhale here to drop the belly down into a cow pose. Shoulders are back, chin is lifted. And with your next exhale, you're gonna round your back, tucking the chin and the tailbone into the cat. Let's hold the cat pose for a bit. Maybe shifting the weight forward and back here to get some different angles in this stretch. You can come out towards a neutral position. If in your body you feel like you want to take one more vinyasa or one more downward facing dog, now is the time to do so. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to start to meet up on the mats. So you're going to let the legs come out from underneath you if you're going straight from tabletop. You can take your feet out towards the front of your mat. Okay, let's have the legs together with the feet flexed, toes are reaching back towards the face. The hands can start off tented beside the thighs. You're going to inhale here to lift the chest nice and bright, spine is long. And as you exhale, you're hinging through the hips so the belly button moves towards the thighs. Find that flexion first, and then if you want to move your hands a little bit more forward, you can. If you want to put them onto your ankles, or your feet, you can as well. Okay, chest can stay up nice and bright, or if you want to round and kind of get it more into the upper back, you can. Take 3 breaths there. Get whatever it is you need from this stretch. Let's take our final breath in together. And a big breath out of the mouth. You can gently start to lift your chest back up, stacking your shoulders back on top of your hips. Roll out the neck a couple times. Roll out the shoulders a couple times. Then you can start to let yourself wind down onto your mat. So the hands can reach forward and we can take a nice slow lowering down towards the floor. Allow your arms to reach up over your head and point through the toes using your next inhale here for a big full body stretch. Hug both of your knees in towards your belly. Take your hands onto your shins and rock a little bit from side to side. Then you can start to take your feet up towards the ceiling for a happy baby pose. Your hands can slide up the sides of your calves, your ankles, and maybe even connect all the way to the sides of your feet. You can rock a little bit from side to side here. You can try straightening out one leg and then the other. Take advantage again of the privacy of your own home here to find ways to finish your movement practice. Let's start to slowly let the knees come back together. Arms can go out to a T position. We're going to drop the knees over towards the right and turn the chin towards the left. 2 deep breaths. You're going to come back towards the center when you're ready, dropping the knees over towards the left, chin towards the right. 2 deep breaths. Coming back in towards the middle, and then if you're ready to start finding your Shavasana, you can. But again, the choice is yours as you are all at home and able to stay as long as you'd like. I'd like to thank you all again for practicing with me this morning. If you are getting down into your back, you might take a moment here to be sure that especially the muscles in your face are relaxed. So relaxing through the jaw, the cheeks, smoothing out all of the wrinkles on the forehead. And let's finish together here with a few breaths before we sign out. So we're going to inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale again through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. And one more time, breathing in deeply through the nose. And sighing it all the way out. Thank you all for being here with me again this morning. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.